be fine. All right, sorry, Prof. Now, finally, I seem to have been said well. So we can start again. I had said earlier as I was speaking that the only industry that was resilient enough to have brought us to this level is the horticulture industry. And in this case today, we are focusing on avocado and bananas, two value chains that we believe are very important to us as an industry. And these value chains are the value chains that any one of us, particularly our Kenyan smallholders, can grow without a lot of difficulty. That includes, but not limited to, even just rain-fed. Some of them are limited to rain-fed, some of them we have to do irrigated agriculture. But it gives us a platform for people to start moving and be able to engage. So, and having seen what happened during COVID times, when we will not be able to move from one point to another, and recent visits that we have made, and thanks to Professor Kameni for working with us, particularly in Brussels when you invited us to be there with you last year. We were then able to say, what do we do, and explore so many options that will allow us to be able to get proper presence in the marketplace, particularly starting with the EU. That is our biggest market today, looking at the Middle East and looking at the Far East, and even the new markets that are developing. We thought it's important that then we quickly employ technology and be able to see how we can take advantage of digital tools that will allow us to be able to reach the market and be able to get our products accessed by everybody globally. And for this reason, that's why we had to sit together with our colleagues and partners, particularly USAID, through the RTI project, they call Crops and Market Systems, that has allowed us then be able to develop this strategy. And I want to thank Beatrice, whom we have worked very closely from CIBIT, Center for Business Innovation and Technology, in developing what we have today as a strategy. So, colleagues, we have a strategy and we have a campaign. And today, therefore, we have a communication strategy, marketing communication strategy, and the commencement of the campaign. And we like to take a whole month between today and 30th of next month to really be able to campaign on, to get into the digital space, reach out to the world, campaigning and ensuring that we get our products known globally in the next 30 days. So we will be requesting you, wherever you are, for those who are members, you know what we've been doing the last few months. We would like you to join us in this campaign because we have the best fruits in the world, we have the best weather in the world, we have what it takes in terms of the labor, we have technology, and our logistics are still very perfect, though expensive because of restrictions, but we still are able to deliver our cargo into the market between 5 hours and 21 days, based on which vessel we are using. If it's by air, to Europe is 8 hours, to Middle East is 5 hours, and by sea we have between 14 and 21 days. That means that our products can be accessible throughout. And we also have a country that is able to produce avocado and banana throughout 365 days of the year. On this call this morning, in this meeting this morning, we are privileged to be joined by Professor Kameni, who is basically ambassador who's finishing his assignment in Brussels, who's joined us online, and his team from Brussels. We have a mission in UK, we have a mission in China, we have a mission in Middle East, and we have a mission in Netherlands, who have joined us this morning on this call because we believe these are strategic meetings. Then our mission in Italy, represented by Anthony Muredi, who will be making remarks shortly after this, so that we can then be able to run through. They will be joined by the regulator, HCD, and Tito, who is joining us online. He's also going to make his remarks actually immediately after myself. Then we'll have a branding agency that will follow. We have Kenya Airways with us. And we're basically partnering with the national carrier to ensure that we deliver our cargo to the marketplace on time and other areas that we need to. We then have had a discussion with our mission in Korea, looking at how we get our bananas into that space. And I believe that our mission in Korea is online, following through, so that we can then be able to proceed and see what we can do. So allow me then read this statement for the purposes of the media and for the purposes of all of us. Then I'll hand over immediately to Tito. I hope that the team inside will let him know that immediately after myself, he will take the podium and that he'll join us online from Mombasa. Ladies and gentlemen, horticulture is a leading foreign earner in the country, and we earned this country 153 billion shillings in 2021. Fruits accounted to 17 billion shillings, with avocado accounting for 14.64 billion, and bananas only accounting for 3.6 million Kenyan shillings. It's also good to know that because of those results, Kenya now stands as number 6 global leader in terms of the supply and export of avocado, and 112 when it comes to bananas. And this is largely because we trade a lot of our bananas locally and not externally. Despite all the tremendous success that we have, it's also important to note that we only export 10% of our avocado that we produce, meaning the 90% ends up either being processed or locally produced, or because of selection or many other post-harvest challenges that we have, we've ended up not exporting. So that tells you how much potential we have. For this reason, therefore, it is evident that avocado and bananas, the value chain, have, of no doubt, very important economic fruit crops that need to be prioritized and given the production, marketing, and promotion attention that they deserve, backed with budgetary support by stakeholders, both from government and the private sector. We're insisting here why we talk about budget allocation is whether we want to do innovation, whether we want to market, whether we want to do promotion, whether it's labeling. It is key that we get into investment. And for research, we must be able to invest, therefore, budgets into it to support this industry and just ensure that these value chains really give us the export value and also the domestic market value, which is addressing both the economic value and the nutrition value and the food security value. Fresh Produce Consortium of Kenya, therefore, with support from USAID through RTI, a project that I mentioned earlier, Crops and Dairy Project, have supported us in this journey. And we worked with them, we discussed with them, and we all agreed that there's need for us to be able to promote and develop a strategy and get into a campaign to really be able to promote and market these two value chains. And we want to thank USAID at this point in time for accepting to work with us this journey. And for Beatrice from CBIT for accepting to be the one that sat with us and developed this. We've had hours of boardroom consultation that we had in trying to get out this strategy. We could have started with any other crop, but we chose to start with food, with banana and avocado, because we already have them. And I'm sure from Prof's village, avocado and banana is part of what you eat every morning, or perhaps what you see when you drive along the way when you come back home, sir. When you come back home, we would want to go down to the village and be able to support the people together with you, even as you share your wisdom with us. And therefore today, this digital launch for marketing strategy and campaign, we are focused and determined in ensuring that we grow our markets, particularly in EU countries. We are targeting the UK, the Middle East, Korea, India, and China. I'm glad that our brother Jared, our trade chef from India, is with us on this line. We're looking at how we open up the avocado business and market and exports into India. I know that we have FPC has done all the technical work. We just need a bit of some political goodwill in ensuring that India then allows us access of our fresh avocados into that country. We continue pursuing this because we believe that that will be able to help us to triple, if not go 10 times higher than what we have today in terms of our production. We're looking at growing. For us to be able to grow and increase this, it's important that then as a country we have a conversation. This is the conversation I want to urge our membership and the Kenyans and the stakeholders at large, that the challenge we have at the moment that the market is asking us, very hard question, can we supply quality avocados? quality avocados consistently, and that we can be there consistently with the right quality, right sizes, right branding, and speaking about the fruit we have. It's true that we've had challenges, and many challenges, that we have had a mixed fruits that going to the market instead of having pure selected fruits. So it's a time for us to sober up. It's not about making the money today. It's about the quality of our fruits, consistent supply, and let's be real to ourselves that the dry matter content has been one of the biggest challenges that we faced. We've agreed, and recently you must have seen the stakeholders a letter from the regulator telling us that we're no longer going to send any avocados out of this country if they do not meet a dry matter of a minimum of 24%. That will allow us to have these fruits. Recently, we went to the market, and the market was telling us they're not buying from Kenya because of our inconsistency in quality. They take our fruits these days to the ripening chamber. And therefore, when you have mixed dry matter, or you have a few of those fruits harvested when they mature, they then cause challenges when it comes to maturity. It causes a lot of labor, and when you come out of the ripening chamber, our fruits some of them are either rotten, or they're either not properly ripened because of the sizes and the quality and the mixed quality that we put in our containers. It's therefore good that I insist on this, that what will build this industry is being real, selling products when they are mature enough, and not at any given time compromising on quality. Therefore, we are looking at a high-level branding, labeling, demonstrating and maintaining a watertight traceability system, and speaking about good weather, talking about what our crops go through in terms of protection. We hardly spray our avocado, and anybody who sprays is completely in a special need if there's something that really the plant health people ask. Otherwise, our avocado and bananas actually get to the market naturally grown without any spray. And for that reason, we have 99% of avocado going to the market is organic. And that is
recording in progress.
That is something that we must be proud of. We must be very proud of that we can produce 99% of our avocados organically, and almost 100% of our bananas organically. That gives us a bigger advantage than many parts of the world. Therefore, it's important to be dynamic and have a dynamic and uniquely new requirements in the market that touch on compliance, that touch on best practices. It's key and it's important that all of us then team up together, speak about our quality, but most importantly, to ensure that we comply with the standards required, both domestically and internationally. That includes branding of our products. And I'm asking our branding agents here and our regulator HCG to basically say, can we work closely? I know we work together, but can we work even closer in ensuring that what we release out of this country is watertight? And there should be nobody who is allowed to compromise on any quality for any reason, because any compromise in quality and inconsistency on our side will affect our market. And out there is about the image. And I'm sure Prof and colleagues who speak after me will tell you, out there it's about the image, it's about the consistency, it's about what we have, it's about what we're proud of, it's about what we can demonstrate to the world that we have. If we can be number 6 in avocado, having exported only 10% of what we have, can you imagine if we took that to 20%, 30%, 50%, and go up to 80%? I also want to encourage the locals that avocado is not for the export. Avocado is a delicacy. We can use avocado for your oil, you can work with your guacamoles. I know that in the villages we use avocado with our githeri. And therefore there's so many other ways you can get avocado, including but not limited to compost manure when it comes to the end result, what you finish. And also ask the research institutions to get it and couple with us together with academia to ensure that we research very good varieties that will continuously ensure that our quality is improved. I also then say that on this call, as I said this morning, I'm glad that we've been joined by our missions in Brussels that also represents our the E of Equator. And the collaboration between us and our missions is going to be the way to go, today and forever. Partnerships are key. And on this call this morning, we have our embassy, a mission in Brussels, a mission in Germany, a mission in Italy, missions in Netherlands, the UK, Korea, UAE, India, and China, of whom we want to start with, building this as we even build with the others. If we can be able to explore that, we will be happy. We're also glad to note at this point in time that now we have a trader to chair in our market in Dubai, our brother Lele, who actually got there yesterday morning, and is reporting to work today. And I told him therefore one of the big assignments that we have is how we can clean. I also want to mention, particularly for the sake of our colleagues from the mission, we have challenges when it comes to due diligence of who is our market. Most of our members have lost money, particularly in UAE, a bit of France, and they've lost money because they have faithfully supplied and the clients have not paid. And I know that we have all the shelves, we have all the files on the shelves when we're talking about claims that are so high. So we urge you, our colleagues from the missions, to please help us on due diligence on the suppliers of due diligence on the importers of our fruits and vegetables. In this case, we have a big challenge, particularly in UAE, when it comes to avocado. It's really time for us to work together. To the tail end, I just want to say a big thank you again to USAID for having us these resources, the government of the Republic of Kenya, particularly through the regulators, the work we're doing. For the members of FPC, you know what we have been doing in the last couple of months in trying to get the market sorted out. And we will continue to work together in building this industry, both in the domestic and in the global market. I want to thank CIVIT for partnering with us in terms of developing this strategy. And as I say, this campaign is for the whole month, and want to see how we can make it bigger and better so that we can reach literally every part. We only started with these two, but we will continue building strategies for all other value chains that we deal with and that we export so that we're able to build. Last but not least, I want to encourage that we employ innovation, technology, and take advantage of the digital tools that we have available in our disposal to speak, to promote, to market, and really shout about Kenyan products. And this is the time that Kenyans have to be patriotic enough and say, this is where we are. We must stop doing the things of the past and allow science, innovation, and technology to take center stage, even as we engage. And for the missions, I want to request that you allow us to have regular meetings with yourselves, if possible, every month or every other month, basically to assess what is in that market, and also help us in terms of surveys and feedback of what the market requires, so that we do not have to continue fighting internally, and yet out there, things are different. In Kenya, tunasema vitu kwa ground is different. So we would like to be dealing with things here while kwa ground vitu is different. We want to be very sure that things are good and we are seamless in our coordination. And also, I know that you have intelligence officers, you have intelligence in every place. As you do the political intelligence and the security and other intelligence, I think it's time to move to economic intelligence. If we can reinforce on economic intelligence, then you give us feedback. We will work closely to ensure that we supply everything that is required to meet the market. Thank you so much.
All it is in the morning. or wee hours of the morning. So hamjaboni nyote. Kwa niaba ya Kenya Airways, I would wish to first of all begin by introducing my colleague who is with me, and basically the one who is the expert in this field. Joseph, would you kindly
Jambo nyote. My name is Joseph Omonda, and I'm glad to be here.
So, Joseph, if you don't mind, just remain with me here. So I'm here to talk on behalf of Dick Murianki, who is our General Manager of Cargo Services, and also to represent Kenya Airways, particularly our CEO, Alan Kiabuka, who is a very enthusiastic person and who looks into this idea or into this collaboration so well and so keen to see that Kenya Airways contributes and supports the welfare of all the farmers and all the producers and everyone in general in this value chain of fresh produce and exports. We are so much excited today because we are talking about innovation. Innovation is key to giving us the room and to taking us to the next level. I just want to give a small brief about Kenya Airways' focus on innovation. As we speak, Kenya Airways has actually an innovation hub. It's one of the leading aviation hubs in the continent and basically in the world. And innovation has brought so many things. Innovation during the COVID-19 pandemic days, remember in 2019 when things went haywire, it is innovation that brought life to the export of fresh produce product in Kenya. So Kenya Airways became actually the very first one to innovate and be able to reconfigure a Boeing 787 that was basically meant for passenger business to be able to uplift cargo. This was indeed one of the first innovations that the world looked into and highlighted it because it gave life to carriage of products, of fresh produce products at a time when the passenger planes had been grounded. Therefore, when we talk about a whole 1 month of digital innovation focusing on bananas and avocados, is a very interesting topic for us because we know it is through innovation and it is through digital marketing and use of the dynamic ways of making it work that we are going to see the world increase this consumption, increase the export. There is no way we can be having 10% of the avocados that are rich, that they are delicious, that the whole world and anybody on the globe would be looking out for. So we therefore have a room, and a big room indeed, to be able to expand our reach and be able to export our produce. I think all of us appreciate that wherever it is that you go in the world, on your breakfast table, on your breakfast menu, you will never lack a banana. And how good is it if these bananas would be coming from our own country? It is doable, and doable because we have the labor, we have the rich and fertile land, and above all, we have Kenya Airways here, willing and ready to take this produce wherever it is that is needed in the world. And we therefore are here to show and to express that our readiness. It doesn't matter wherever it is that the demand will be required, but Kenya Airways is agile enough to be able to take this produce at the time that is required. So for us, we are here, and thanks to Keproba, thanks to HCD, thanks to FPC, thanks to USAID, thanks to the Kenya missions abroad, and in particular, Brussels, Netherlands, China, Middle East, Italy, and South Korea, where we have seen great passion and great collaboration that we should be able to take our freighters there. And we want to assure you it won't matter the volumes for now, because we have various ways that through our partners and through many other ingenious ways and innovative ways, we'll be able to take the produce so that we have a starting point. And only later, if it means taking the biggest of the biggest planes, why not? We should be able to take them there. So at this juncture, I would like to ask my colleague, Joseph, to make maybe a short brief of basically where we are coming from and where we intend to go. Joseph, welcome. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Isaac. I think Isaac has taken the thunder from me. But the one thing that I would like to point out is that Kenya Airways is ready to partner with the Fresh Produce Consortium of Kenya in pushing and in marketing avocado and banana business out of the country. We've had a long and fruitful association with the Fresh Produce Consortium of Kenya in pushing out produce from the country. As my colleague alluded to, when COVID hit the aviation industry, we were stuck. But through innovation, Kenya Airways was able to get produce out of the country when other airlines had frozen operations. Nothing was moving out. And you know, Kenya is a major agricultural producer, agricultural exporter within the region, and as a matter of fact, in the world. We've partnered with the horticultural industry from the country, and we provide capacity for export into Europe, Asia, the Middle East, the Far East. And of course, we used to provide exports as far as Australia. It's taken a little bit of a beating, but we are still ready for it. So, as we launch this avocado and banana digital media campaign, the assurance we'd like to give is Kenya Airways is ready to stand with you, and we are ready to stand with the producers from this country and from the region to ensure that our produce are able to get to the international market. Thank you very much.
To other parts that traditionally were not growing these fruits. But nevertheless, then we must appreciate that we've been having a fair of challenges in terms of what we ship to the market. And I don't want to repeat because Mr. OJ, the CEO of FPC Kenya, has already elaborated them further. But the most important thing is for all the stakeholders and the value chain actors in the avocado value chain and banana value chain to do what needs to be done, because we have a good standing. Currently, Kenya is placed number 6 in the world, and we are competing with giants like Mexico, Peru, and others. But we need to up our game. And this means then all the small practices, including handling, harvesting, washing, grading, that must be done in a better way. I'm not going to say the right way, but we need to improve the way we are doing it. And I must appreciate some of the exporters that have gone a notch higher and done what is internationally accepted. But we still have a fair share of challenges, especially with some of the exporters that are still using very traditional methods of transportation. And here I mean the use of Probox vehicles, open pickups, and they are loaded with fruits that are not in any crates. I want to remind all of us that the Kenyan regulation, the Kenyan Crops Act, regulations of 2013 and the horticulture regulations of 2020 stipulate quite clearly and enumerate the requirements of what needs to be done. And this means that then if we do what is needed, then we can still be able to double our exports, because currently we are only exporting 10% against Mexico, who is doing around 55%. And this means that if we went maybe to 30%, we can have a trickle down effect into the Kenyan economy by injecting more of the revenues that the government barely needs. So this is a call to all of us so that we can be able to do what needs to be done. And I would want to urge all the value chain actors to practice self-regulation. And here I mean doing the right thing without necessarily having to be inspected, having to be corrected on what needs to be done, because these are practices that we know what needs to be done, and it is something that we need to do so that we better our markets. In the past 1 year or so, we've been having a lot of challenges, especially with rejections that come as a result of shipping immature fruits. I must point out at this point here that this challenge can only be addressed, and part of the problem that we are having is some of our exporters have not even been paid as a result of this, amongst other combination of problems. So we need to do what needs to be done to be able to get a fairer share of the slice of the avocado and the banana share. Notwithstanding, we also need to encourage a lot of technical collaborations and research, especially in the exchange of germplasm. If we can be able to get some germplasm and share amongst our growers, we have an able institution by the name of Calro who can be able to take lead in this research, and from this then we can be able to get slightly more adapted varieties that can be able, and true to type varieties that would enhance have a better slice in the market. Then as I wind up, then I also need to remind all of us that there are some protocols that we need to do. The markets are expanding, and I am sure those that are watching and those that are physically at Crown Plaza are aware of the signing in the revision of the signed protocol for Kenya and Chinese market, where now we are able to export fresh avocado as long as it is fumigated. Initially, remember, this was only allowed for frozen avocado, and we must applaud the government for its commitment in engaging the stakeholders and making the discussions on this. But this is something that we need to tap into, because looking at the Chinese market and the population, then probably I would say all the fruits, if we were to harvest all the fruits we have on Kenya, in Kenya, and ship them to China, we would still not be able to satisfy that market. So this is a call that to everyone, so that we do what needs to be done. We self-regulate ourselves and do the best practices that are geared towards sustainability and food safety, because that is what the market needs. At this point in time, then I will stop here and say we have a duty, all of us collectively, and we have to execute this responsibly. Thank you for listening.
And also us now in the diaspora, where we want the product to actually gain some people. Just a brief on what is happening here in Italy. Italy, the consumption of avocado has been quite low in the past. We have been doing around 25-30 grams per capita consumption. But this time the appetite for avocados has really increased. According to the first statistics last year, we were able to import 25,000 metric tons of fruits, out of which 7.5% was actually has avocado. And this is clearly manifested when you go to the supermarkets, when you go to the market, you actually find avocados actually being sold there. Unfortunately, we don't have much of the avocados from the Kenya country. What we are having is avocados from the neighboring countries. We have from Spain, from Israel, from Austria,
And we also have avocados coming from as far as Peru and Colombia. It's not that their quality is better than ours. It's not that they have better volumes than ours. The only thing is that they're able to be consistent. And thank you, OJ, because in your opening remarks you alluded to that. Although you said you took it as a challenge, but me as an opportunity that we really need to be consistent in terms of volumes and also the quality that we supply. Entering the market is not very difficult, but the difficult part is how to maintain it. And the consumption end of the market is really key on this. Because once you don't live to the terms that we have really agreed upon, what happens is that you actually not taken very seriously in the market. And the market is quite dynamic, a lot of competition, people are there by the sides watching and they are able to grab the opportunity at the earliest opportunity. So I really urge our producers, our farmers from Kenya, our marketers, that what we are getting to the foreign market will be consistent in terms of volumes and also in terms of quality. I remember at I called you also talked about the issue of due diligence. This is something that we're able to do, is part of the job we do here. Once we get an inquiry or you want to get a deal, you want to sell to this market, just get in touch with us directly through the mission. We're able to do the due diligence for you. It's a matter that it takes around 2-3 days. I'm able to get back to you and tell you that there's a clean deal or this not a clean deal. And due diligence is also like a two-edged sword. It cuts on both ways. I know in my earlier disposition, I also used to have issues where our traders are also being not living to the agreement as stipulated. So we also get complaints from where we said that we have also engaged ourselves in not very clean deals. So I'd also add that we also be our brother's keeper, that we also look both ways and see that we live up to expectations in terms of us now being able to maintain ourselves as good traders, people of integrity and people that are ready to engage in the foreign market. So what I would like to assure you is that the market is there and it's growing day by day. Avocados are there, like I said, you go to the markets, you go to the supermarkets, you go to homes, markets, avocados are there. And the good thing, Kenya, I'll tell you from a point of authority from where I see, we are highly rated in terms of technology, in terms of engagement, in terms of entrepreneurship. We don't have a lot of issues that bog us Kenyans when we are talking to our friends in the diaspora. Our name is quite good and we really need to maintain that in terms of our engagement. So I really thank you for this campaign that we are starting today, and we are with you anytime. Let's keep our channels open, be able to respond to inquiries in good time so that we can be able to engage continuously. So thank you very much, and I really wish you a very good way forward as we move forward on this strategy and also as we bring the other products on board in due time. So thank you very much, and back to you.
My name is John Otua. I am the director leading the market systems component at the USAID funded Kenya Crops and Dairy Market Systems activity. This is a 5-year activity that started in 2017 and is set to end in September of 2022, that is this year. And it's basically working in selected counties in Kenya, 12 counties to be specific, looking into facilitating and unlocking systemic constraints that make farmers not access sustainable as well as competitive. Actors in the value chains to be able to ensure that we are able to get this done. Happy to report that a lot has been happening with our support, and through the grant fund, we have been working with the FPC, we have been working with the exporters of avocado and other commodities, including bananas and others, in the country to be able to invest together and work together to ensure that they are able to access high value markets. Of course, knowing that when buyers are able to get good markets, the same benefits should be achieved by the producers who are indeed our target group, by ensuring that they are able to produce what the market can buy. At the same time, also being sure that they know whom they are producing these products to, and they are aware about the status in which the product should be by the time it's produced. These actors have been working closely with the farmers to ensure that they meet the systems that are set by the consumer market for them to be able to sell to them, including certification systems and all this. Coming back to avocado and bananas, I would like to say that we are working with FPC Kenya to be able to promote avocado, banana, and other crops in the market. And this is out of an ongoing grant with FPC, where one of the key components is to ensure that we promote avocado and banana marketing, both domestically, regionally, as well as internationally. This has been working pretty well, and we have seen a lot of interest with our buyers wanting to get to understand production systems. We have seen a lot of interest with avocado producers wanting to not only extend or intensify their production systems, but also get to understand the varieties that the market wants and invest in the same. Happy to report that we've seen a lot of interest with our farmers planting us and our varieties, which is basically what the international market is looking for. And most of these buyers and exporters are working in line with the supply chain to ensure that this is done. Avocado in Kenya is a big thing, really. It's about to have the same as what we had coffee in the 1980s, where every farmer is looking into having at least a plant or two to be able to share the cake of the bull market that is predicted or that's already existing. We have deliberate efforts by the county governments, especially in the Western Kenya, that is Trans Nzoia, Bungoma, Kakamega, Kisii and other regions in the Western Kenya, Homa Bay, Migori and Northeast, trying to work hand-in-hand with our buyers as well as the different organizations to support farmers in training, to support farmers in acquiring prototype planting materials, and to support farmers to know more about us avocado production. And we are working really with FPC and other industry associations to see to it that we support this innovation, because the appetite is already there for farmers in Western Kenya to be able to grow avocados. And of course, there are benefits that are attributed to the same. Western Kenya is very good rainfall patterns. Western Kenya has extensive and unused land systems where they can expand and diversify into avocado. And that's happening really in most other regions, including Eastern Kenya. And we are working to ensure that this is done. We believe in the next couple of years, one of the key commodities that we are able to push farmers to get to increase their incomes is avocado and bananas, of course. As we stand today, the bulk of bananas that are grown in Kenya are basically marketed domestically. But we know there is a lot of potential out there, and I'm happy to report that FPC, Concept Partners and the team have been linking up with the ambassadors in Korea, UK and other regions to be able to see how they can attract this market. And I'm happy to hear that the ambassadors in these regions are also willing to help us do the due diligence, be able to know what we need to do for us to achieve the market. Also, we're working with FPC to ensure that we improve logistics, transport logistics, both freight and all this, opening up, working closely with our IREP and open up Kisumu and Mombasa airports for cargo. And this again will also ensure that a number of buyers will be able now to see the reason to invest in this region, because of course these are logistics and they'll be aware that they'll be sure that their products get to the market in good time, and of course that there's a cost. We are also working closely with the industry associations to ensure that we get farmers to diversify, as I say, and this can only happen if we get the policy framework in place. And KCDMS has been working with the county as well as the national government to ensure that we are able to put in place the right policies that favor production and marketing of avocado and of their supply chain. And I believe if this is done well, we're going to get things working pretty well for the industry. And we're going to get a situation where now the farmers are able to embrace avocado and bananas and move into it. One thing I know clearly about farmers is that once they see an opportunity, they only need to ensure that they have the right systems in place and support functions to ensure that this is done well. We have put in place a strong access to finance division at KCMS that is working with the financial service providers, SACCOs, MFIs, as well as banks, to tailor services that meet the investment systems of these avocado supply chain actors, including farmers, transporters, as well as buyers of equipment. At the same time, working with exporters, and we've engaged a number of them who have put in place a state-of-art avocado packaging lines. And this in itself will ensure that they not only pack for themselves, but also for other actors who may want to export and meet the specs set by the industry. So at this juncture, really, I want to thank every person who has been a candidate to get to this level, and also appreciate our efforts by FPC Kenya to get us to where we are. Very soon we're launching, and you're welcome. I'm sure Jebat will invite you. We're launching the first KA certificate standard for the country, and this again is a step forward for the domestic as well as export market, and I'm sure it's going to be a step in ensuring that we are able to get safe foods and we are able to meet the standards that the buyer out there, as well as the buyer in Kenya, is willing to buy. So thanks a lot, and back to you on Shepherd.
Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning. Or should I say, like our KQ brothers, mabibi na mabwana, hamjambo. Yeah, so it's quite an honor for me to stand here and get the opportunity to give you a snapshot of the strategy that we have to be able to promote the two key products that all speakers have touched on, avocados and bananas from Kenya. So for those of you who are already looking for the handles, to push, basically just go to your Twitter and search for avocados from Kenya, bananas from Kenya, because we want that to be the conversation going forward, not only for the 1 month that OJ has appointed, but we want that conversation to be there as long as Kenya exists. We are giving ourselves a target of 5 years to unseat Mexico. So I want to believe that most of you are actually believing with us that it is possible. And the reason as to why we have this belief is because you're saying if we are standing at number 6 today as we speak, and we are only doing 10% exports of our produce, all we need to do is just triple, and we'll be able to unseat Mexico. So it's not rocket science, it's doable. We believe that very soon we will put structures and systems in place so that we are able to do that. So listening to OJ, listening to Tito speak, and all the other speakers, they actually have given us a very good context to what I'm about to share. We have what it takes. Actually, OJ says we have the best fruit, we have the best product, we have the best weather. And in addition to that, he says we have what it takes to feed the world with the foods that we have to offer and other product offerings in the horticulture sector. But then that begs the question, how come if we have the best product, we have the best weather, and we have what it takes, the question therefore begs, why are we not feeding the world with our produce? And I think Tito's presentation gave us context as to reasons why we are yet to feed the global consumer with the kind of products that we have. And therefore, for us, this gave us really, a background or a reason or justification for us to say we need to have a coordinated approach to educating the world, educating consumers, both here in Kenya and also internationally, about what we have to offer, because we may know that we have ours is the best. We may know that the weather is the best, our weather is the best, and that we have what it takes. But the question here is how many people, share that particular information. So we feel like, as a country, we needed a coordinated approach to how we channel this information out to prospective markets, but also how we channel market information back to industry players, so that then we may be able, to advance the avocado and banana value chains, and as Oji already pointed out, going beyond the two value chains to the rest. I would not dwell so much on the statistics, because that has already been very well presented, and the fact that when it comes to, when big boys are asked to stand as far as, avocado production and supply to the global market, Kenya falls, there, we are counted. But the picture is not the same when it comes to banana, and yet bananas are the most consumed products in the global market. And again, as rightfully said, Kenya has what it takes to supply or to feed the world with bananas. So strategic question is, why are we not therefore feeding the global market, or supplying the global market with the bananas? A number of reasons have been put up. I will not go to all the key issues that we have, captured, under the environmental analysis that we did, and the opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, and threats that we face. But basically, in agreement with the earlier speakers, we are saying this is a lucrative market. We are barely scratching on the surface by virtue of the fact that we are only depositing 10% of what we have, to offer the market. So really, if we put our act together, we will be able not only to supply the market, but also be able to gainfully enterprise the two value chains. So among the key challenges that, the pathway that we chose to pursue are, challenges to do with information, where, both industry players and the market really suffer from insufficient information as to what we have to offer, both, as producers, and also what we can, how we can make sense of available data to be able to innovate our products so that we can advance the two value chain. And therefore, basically, we pick on the information challenge, and therefore this strategy specifically looks at how we are going to run with the digital media to be able, to promote the industry and power, marketing of the two value chains. So the total sum of it is basically the fact that information is key. We need to know what the market wants for us to be able to innovate our products, tune our products so that we better cater for those market needs that we have identified. Industry players really cannot do, you cannot, package and present a product in a competitive way if you do not have enough information. On the market side, they also need to understand our offerings. How would they come? How would they seek our products if they know nothing about the products? Actually, as Oji was speaking, it came to mind that really we have an organic product. If you're, sun-grown without, actually, even using chemicals on the avocados and bananas, this is a premium product that we really need to talk about, shout about it. I don't know how many of you knew that our avocados and bananas are organic. If you did, please share, and under the chat, let's have this conversation. And most importantly, if you're able to connect with us online, let's have this conversation there, because this is such a premium product that we have. And therefore, basically, that is what informed the formation of this particular strategy. So why digital media? Why digital communication? Because, specifically we are saying this is a digital communication and marketing strategy. It just goes without saying, the world has moved. We have moved from the traditional bricks and mortar, mode of communication. Everybody's online, and I'm happy actually. That's the reason why we have majority of participants to these events are actually connected and plugged in online. So really it goes without saying that the world has gone virtual, And if the world has gone virtual, it makes sense that we go virtual and meet the world where they are. So basically, that is really what creates the underlying rationale for us really exploring the concept of digital media to be able to adequately, effectively promote, communicate, share information, and promote our product offerings right now, specifically touching on the two value chains, avocado and banana. So we seek to be able, therefore, to adequately communicate, disseminate information through three key strategic thrusts. Number one pillar, we are saying we must be capable enough to adequately communicate, and this is an internal responsibility that FPCK have committed really to be able to enhance the capability, to be able to champion promotion of the two value chains, and going forward, really bringing into the fold other, value chains, so that everybody, everywhere, wherever they are, locally, internationally, will be sufficiently informed about what we have to offer as a country, in as far as the value chains that they will be championing are concerned, and also making sure that sector players are informed and adequately, equipped with information so that they can make strategic decisions to enterprise in the two value chain. The second pillar is where we are saying we want to create a community that will help us rally, that will rally behind the two value chains, and also that will help us even send, the messages to every corner of this world. The beauty about digital media, it allows us to be able to establish these communities, the digital communities. They will help us even amplify the message, unlike the traditional media. And because this is also a marketing strategy, that's what we're calling it, the digital communication and marketing strategy, the third pillar is looking at making sure that even as we communicate, even as we create these, very strong family of friends online, we want that to contribute into enhancing our market performance, because that's the essence of us doing it. Cross-cutting, of course, we want to do this in a coordinated and coherent manner, and that's why we are saying at the bottom we will have this cross-cutting intervention of ensuring that we are branded and we are speaking in one voice, and we are coordinated as value chains and collectively as a sector. Okay, so allow me to just unpack briefly. I want to go into the details of the key result areas, but this is just basically to show you that we really have gone into the depth of it, ensuring that we are not leaving any dots disconnected from the other, so that we ensure that eventually, within 5 years, we will be able to unseat the global leader, and therefore taking market leadership in as far as the supply of avocado and bananas are concerned. So as I said, the first pillar is it's inward internal, looking at building the capability of FPCK in matters of being able to deliver this digital communication and marketing strategy. So therefore, I'm happy we have a lot of partners already connected, tuned in, and in the house. And this is, I think, where now FPCK comes in and says, we really needed to have state-of-the-art infrastructure. When we are talking about powering a campaign, it's really a big deal. It's a big responsibility. And I want to take this opportunity to appreciate them. They dared to move. They dared to stand up. They dared to respond to the challenges posed to them when they're out there. I remember one time Moje says, he goes out there and somebody says, okay, you're talking about avocado, but how much can you supply? When can you supply? What are the volumes? And this is difficult for you to answer if you really do not have, a coherent strategy on how to respond to those kind of questions. So strategy number one is basically ensuring that the strategic pillar number one, ensuring that FPCK is very well equipped to be able to deliver the strategy. Number two, we are saying let's create this online community. So through social media, and this is where we're going to take advantage of social media. Interesting thing is that we have internet penetration globally is very high. We are speaking about 4.95 people using the internet as we speak. And of the 4.9, about 4.6 billion people are actually utilizing social media. So basically, we are saying we want to create these, community, this online community, and with the online community, and we're talking about an online community of consumers, of suppliers, of basically the support enablers, basically the support system. Let us all come together. Let's have the conversation and let's explore on how we can advance the two value chains, avocados and bananas. So the first objective under this pillar, we are saying we will make sure that industry is informed and the market is also equally informed. So we shall use this opportunity to ensure that we share the industry information. We are able to collecting the information, translate the information into intelligence, and disseminate the information to industry players so that they are informed on what the market requires. And vice versa, will ensure that the market is also adequately informed on what we have to offer as a country. Without that, we cannot talk about advancing, because who knows, unless we tell and educate the consumers, unless we educate the world on what we have to offer, it will be difficult for us to talk about advancing and growing this particular market. It is interesting to note that even locally, consumption of avocado is very low, where an average Kenya is consuming 1 to 2 kilos per year. So that is how many? Like about 6 avocados, really, isn't it? So if you're talking about the big avocado, those would be like about 6. We want to enhance consumption. And for us to be able to enhance consumption, we must educate consumers on how to even eat, prepare, and consume the kind of products that we have to offer. The second objective is basically about now creating this vibrant online community that will be our ambassadors. And it works so well online because you see, share, post a recipe and you have that recipe shared 5 to 20 times actually. Some of them even do enough rounds if it's exciting, so people have this tendency of sharing and resharing and reposting. So really amplification when it comes to digital media is very high, and then when it becomes even much better when we have this family that will be educating each other. We don't have to be the source of all the recipes that we shall be creating, but we will allow the online community to help us amplify, to share what they have to offer. Let us see the different ways of interacting with the product that we have to offer. And therefore, we will look into ensuring that we have this vibrant community. I want to take this opportunity to already welcome you, join. Basically, the hashtag is avocados from Kenya, bananas from Kenya. Plug in and let's continue holding this conversation. But most importantly, I'm inviting you to already join this particular movement and the family. Okay, so the third objective, and that is basically to ensure that we are not just talking about it, we are not, running without ensuring that we have that translated into really, traffic. So third objective is to ensure that even as we do it, we will measure, see, direct, the audience to where we want them to be so that they may take action. At the end of the day, we want them to take action so that it impacts on our markets locally and globally. So the third pillar is basically the marketing pillar, and here we're saying if we have the capability to undertake this digital campaign, make sure that the world is informed about what we have to offer as a country, ensure that also locally consumers, producers are aware of what the market wants, consumers know how to prepare and consume the products that we have to offer them. We want, and then secondly, we have a very vibrant, committed group of community of friends online, digital community of friends online. Then the third pillar, which is the marketing pillar, will be an easy one to deliver if the two first pillars are effectively delivered. And here we are basically saying, let us not lose any of the buyers that we have as we even create more customers to buy and consume the products that we have to offer them. But remember, as I said at the beginning, we are number 6. This time we were number 3. Now we are about number 6 as presented earlier by the earlier speakers. But for us to be able to attain number 1, what we have to do is to unseat some, basically in this brand switching. We want some buyers that are buying elsewhere to start buying from us. And when they do that, that is how we advance towards becoming market leaders. It will be our business to ensure that we look out for those particular buyers digitally and communicate, give them adequate information, communicate to them, persuade them, educate them about what we have to offer, so that they consider the kind of products that Kenya has to offer. Third objective, under pillar 3, we are actually saying we will educate new consumers, those that are not already, fans of avocados from Kenya, those that are not, even fans of avocados from anywhere, fans of bananas, those that are not, partaking of banana. We shall educate them. We will, come up with education programs, teach them how to prepare meals out of the products that we have to offer. And ultimately, we want to believe that by so doing, we will have, enhanced consumption locally and internationally. But most importantly, we are looking up to having even new buyers into purchasing the kind of products that we have to offer. Marketing objective will not be complete if it doesn't really translate into revenue. So we are hoping that we will be able to enhance figures. We triple in terms of consumption and purchase. We also want to see a knock-on effect on revenue generated out of these campaigns. So, as earlier said, we want to do it in a coordinated manner, and for that, we have symbols that we shall recognize us by. Because we want when you see it, then you get to know that we are on it, we are on the job, we are activating. And for avocado, we came up with that symbol. So you'll be seeing most of the communication, the content that we'll be sharing, communication material that we will be pushing around. You will see avocados will be having that symbol. So it may come in full color, it may come in the monochrome, the green, and then it may be either black or white depending on the background and surface that it shall be applied. But when you see that, you will know that is avocados from Kenya, and we are activating, and it is a symbol that represents all of us. Join the family, join the movement. Bananas from Kenya, yes, so the same way we will have that symbol on the content that we will be sharing. So when you see that, that's how we'll be able to distinguish ourselves. You will know it's us, you're coming, we're inviting you to join us. Let's walk this journey together as we advance the 2 value chains. And remember, as Roger said, this is just the beginning. We don't want to leave any value chain behind, but a journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. We choose to begin with bananas, avocados, as we unfold into, taking up other value chains. The handles are as I presented up. So kindly plug in. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, the handle is the same. Let the conversation be bananas from Kenya, avocado from Kenya. Let anybody who wants to, have a banana or have an avocado know that it must be and it should be bananas and avocados from Kenya. So, ladies and gentlemen, from where I stand, or where I sit right now, I invite you to join the family. Asante.
Asante. May I take this opportunity to thank Uncle Jay and his wonderful team for inviting me to be part of this great initiative. This is history in the making, in the sense that we want to upscale our game and be the best in the world in terms of exporting bananas and avocados. Having said that, as a person with medical background, it is important for us, ladies and gentlemen, to ask ourselves, is it important for people to eat bananas and avocados? And I want to say the answer is yes. just remind you that bananas are the most important crops in the world, in case you didn't know. And they are really healthy source of fiber. When you talk about fiber, again, it reminds you of cancer of the intestines and even the stomach in terms of prevention. And we have a host of vitamins, B6 and C, and you know how important they are. We can also say equally important is the nutrition value of avocados. It's a bet that even where I come from, Oje, in Meru, we don't seem to appreciate the value of avocado. Yet, it is a very rich crop, very, very rich nutritionally, in terms of providing minerals such as magnesium and other minerals such as calcium. And dentist calcium is very important. So please, as we talk about these particular products, it is important to appreciate the fact that globally they are in very high demand. And if we can increase our demand, as has been mentioned severally, then for sure, socioeconomically we will do very well in terms of bringing chapa to our motherland. Having said that, at the risk of repeating some of the things that have been said, allow me to say one or two things. And if I repeat, it's principally because where I come from, we believe that when something is repeated, it is for the purpose of sharpening one's memory. Agriculture, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, in particular horticulture, plays a pivotal role in the Kenyan economy, which accounts for 34% of our GDP, as well as recorded way back in 2019, with a value of 28.8 billion euros. That's a lot of money. If you convert that into Kenyan shillings, oh my God, you will not even believe it. EU, where I am, and I represent Kenya, is one of the top export destination markets for horticulture produce, with a volume of fruits to the EU, as was mentioned. Again, 146 million euros. That was the information as at 2021. Some of you have emphasized, including OJ, Kenya is ranked 6th and 112th in the export of avocado as well as banana, respectively, in the world. Now, this is very small. So it is our challenge, those people who are in this meeting today, and others whom we interact with every other day, to improve this. And at this juncture, I'm reminded of something very critical. A motto of a primary school in Kenya, Uruguru Primary School, where my children went. The motto read as follows: be your better, your best. We have as yet to better our best in terms of marketing these two products. But we can do something that improve in my view. Now, as we do this, what we need to ask ourselves now is, as we promote production, better transportation, and indeed marketing, we have challenges. And I want to say a big yes, we have challenges. Various challenges have been mentioned, but let me just fine-tune them. First, we are talking about quality challenges. We customer requirements for quality are stringent and unforgiving. Ladies and gentlemen, no consumer wants to buy fruits that never ripens or cut into one and find rotten inside. We have had such stories, not necessarily about Kenyan products alone, but other products, especially here in Europe. This is even after going to a beautiful supermarket. If you buy a fruit which is rotten, you don't want to do that again. Never. So again, let us remember that we have cases of immature avocados. And these find their way to the export market. This should not be allowed at all. As was mentioned, we have poor harvest annually. Harvesting and transportation affect the ripening and uniformity of avocado storage, of course, as has been mentioned by several speakers. Then we have mixed branding affecting the ripening of the fruits. Branding should not be mixed. We need to be very consistent. Many speakers have said that. Then there is the issue of sustainability protocols of the export. We keep on saying that export protocols, particularly European standards, are difficult to comply with. But if other countries can do it, why not Kenya? I'm a Kenyan, and I know we are really blessed with brilliant human beings. We can, very hardworking as well. So let us try to ensure that whatever international standards, their strictness notwithstanding, we are able to comply with. The market, once in a while, measures pesticide residues, and we have to be very careful about this. I've heard, and rightly so, that we underuse pesticides, and that's how it should be. Because if they are found in our products, I can tell you, they will be rejected. They will lead to interceptions. And I'm happy we have various representatives for Kenyans in our missions abroad. Interceptions of our products is what, ladies and gentlemen, we want to avoid. Because it means our products will be destroyed, sent back, and destroyed. In the process, we lose billions of Kenyan shillings and discourage our exporters. So let us be very careful about it. The other challenge is evolving trade policy requirements by the EU based on the EU Green Deal and what they call F2F strategy that will affect third countries in Kenya who export to the EU. Traceability system is eventually becoming a requirement in the EU market. So they want to know where your products have taken place or why your foodstuffs have been produced. Has child labor been used or not? This is going to be a challenge, please remember that. And even as OECD countries here in Europe, we are here in Brussels, we are trying to address that. So that even as EU implements the so-called Green Deal, we should also be oak-eyed and make sure that we shout where we think they are treating us unfair. The other challenge is market intelligence and promotion. There's need for continued market intelligence accompanied by targeted promotion campaigns that has been lacking. And I'm sure that all of us are very happy today about what is happening. Beatrice, and your team, you are doing wonderful. Keep it up. When we look at our products, what makes Kenyan products unique? To me, that is important. Sell Kenya, sell Kenya. Let people know that when you buy Kenyan products, the best in the world. So when some of us talk about big producers or the big ones, we want to be amongst the big producers and the big ones in terms of doing things. And yes, when we talk about doing due diligence, and I see so many of us traveling many places across the world, doing what is called benchmarking. We want to see the value of the I've always seen it. When you came to Europe here the other day, I challenge you, when you go back, let people see positive impact on marketing this networks. And I'm seeing it today. Ongera ndugu yangu and the others. So let us go out there. If there are some other countries which are doing better than others, than ourselves, the fundamental question is, what is it that they do differently? Because you can also do better. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we have opportunities on Kenya's comparative and competitive advantage. The answer is yes. And this has been mentioned by the previous speakers. Kenya's cultural sector has a well-developed cold chain logistics networks to supply the world with its fresh and quality products. Underline the word quality. The fact that something comes from that one country or developing country does not mean it cannot be the best in the world. It can. This is in the mind. We need to decolonize the mind. Or even decolonize the thinking of some of our importers. The other thing to remember all the time is that Kenya is blessed with one of the best natural climates in the world. This has been mentioned. Whether you come from Western Kenya, you come from Meru, where I come from, and the foods of Mount Kenya. Tuko hapo, ndugu na dada. Tuko, please remember that. We can be giants better than our competitors, whether from Peru, Colombia, Mexico, Chile, Philippines. We can. We can. There's no reason why we cannot. And the other opportunity to remember is that we have availability of affordable workforce who are skilled and even sometimes unskilled. They are there. It's a question of tapping them. Beatrice talked about capacity building, and even Odia and the others. As long as we can capacity build our people, they can do what is required. The other day I was talking to some colleagues here, Western colleagues, and they are saying that Kenya is the place to be in Africa. Not only in the region, but in Africa. Because of the environment and because of very educated workforce. And the other opportunity that we have is smooth logistics and closeness to the market compared to some competitors. Kenya is not very far away from EU, really. And I'm happy that we are partnering with Kenya Airways, which has clearly told us that they have very innovative products. Again, we want to see the impact of that. So today's launch is very critical because, again, we are leveraging on technology, as Beatrice mentioned. The connectivity people are listening, they are making. So what does this campaign entail? I just want to remind you But even as I remind you, please remember, it is one thing to know, it's one thing to write something somewhere. The most important thing is to actualize, to put into practice that which we are saying we are going to do. So this promotion, this campaign, one, in the process we shall be able to connect data in the global area. We shall improve information dissemination. Sometimes people are so poor in terms of communicating. If you want to succeed, communicate, communicate, communicate in a manner that people understand it, locally and internationally. Then, through this campaign, we shall be able to change the consumer attitude. Because as I have already alluded to, we might be having some consumers of our products who, by virtue of ignorance, inadequate information, might think our products are not of quality, yet we do know they are. And the other good reason why we have this campaign, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, is to improve access to Kenya avocado and bananas in the global market. And I want to challenge each one of us, because we have strategic plans. These strategic plans must be telling us we must go from this percentage to this percentage. Move the needle. We need to do that. Not in theory, but in practice. Because if we do that, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we will be doing what is expected of us. So having said that again, OJ and others, there's something called monitoring and evaluation. I said we have started a journey. 1 year later, somebody said that we must meet regularly. Again it was OJ. How often? And when we meet, are we actually monitoring and evaluating the impact of this wonderful initiative or not? We must evaluate. And if we are not moving very well, we must do some element of introspection and admit our failures and go on to improve. That's the bottom line. And let me revisit this issue about publicity again, even though Beatrice talked about it very well. I want to invite a situation where locally our producers assist of what is expected of them as estimation. So we will need workshops, seminars. We need to reach out to our people, to the region, because it has the highest reach in our motherland. And let us be as inclusive as possible in terms of involving key stakeholders. I'm so happy and elatedly to find private sector in this discourse being involved. That's how it should be. Bring on board even members of the civil society, so that together we can do this. Together we are stronger. This is how it should be. And this is the point. So let me not talk too much, but I would have liked to see representatives of the county governments, their CECs, somebody representing the Council of Governors, and the government of Kenya has been involved. Thank you very much. So that together, again, I want to emphasize that together we can do great things in terms of promoting agriculture. When we talk about the Big Four agenda, improved nutrition, affordability of food, this is what we are doing now with indirectly and directly. we are also going to employ many people through this such initiative. So finally, so that I don't talk like a politician, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank USAID, CBIT, led by Beatrice Masiadadas, RTI, we are talking about research, especially operational research. Thank you for your support. KCDMS, Kenya Airways, fantastic. Keep it up. Don't give up, please. Whatever money you have, whatever chapa you have, promote what we are doing. With those many remarks, I want to say I submit in diplomatic balance. Thank you and God.
Thanking you for the opportunity to speak. Unlike Professor Kaiwenyi, we don't wake up very early in London. So 8:30 in Nairobi, 6:30 here just doesn't work for us. But we are here anyway. So this is a good initiative, so we welcome it. Being able to talk about your product, being able to increase awareness around it, and being able to tap new buyers is an important thing in order that we continue to increase our market value. From a London perspective, I think Professor Kaiwenyi spoken to this. It's about quality, about ensuring that you are aligned with the sanitary and phytosanitary standards, and being able to bring supermarkets into the fold. This includes the large supermarkets as well as getting new buyers around your corner duka, and there are very many of those around here selling avocados, some of which do not look as healthy as our own. So all I would like to say is here we are prepared to support this campaign, and support your reach to supermarkets, which my colleague Sylvia, who's on this call, is now leading on, and we look forward to being able to make this campaign mean something for the buyers here in the UK. Thank you again for the opportunity and
all of us in getting this. So that I don't keep everyone on call waiting, I just wanted to allow us to go to the next session, where basically we will launch. Thereafter we can release our colleagues from the missions. And for those who woke up very early in the morning, like Professor, we just want to say a big thank you. Perhaps just before we launch, you will allow me to appreciate everyone. Just finish so that once we launch, we will then ask friends and everyone to exit. For the members of the fourth estate who are inside here with us, we will be available for the interviews one-on-one as much as we want. We will give you sufficient time to be able to interact with all of us here. And for any reason, Balozi Kaiwenyi and Balozi Sipisu, we may at one point, perhaps I may reach out to you a little later. We could then discuss and perhaps just have a small consultative engagement with you on where we are, and we could break this to you in a much more simplified way and place forward our asks. So I want to thank Professor Kaiwenyi of Balozi in Brussels, and Balozi Sipisu for your kind words, your encouragement, and for really being there in person. We rarely see this. We will hear a representative, but not at that high level. We don't take it for granted that you allowed us to have this conversation this morning. I also want to thank the team that works with you. Let me start from London. Thank you, Sylvia and Sioka, for being very consistent. We've seen a bit of your communication in the last few days coming through, and we want to basically say a big thank you to Balozi for supporting her and for supporting the team in the UK. And for Balozi Kaiwenyi, we had a moment together, we spoke, we went round, and we have been there again and again, trying to tour the place twice in the last quarter. And we really want to say a big thank you together with Dr. Florence Kaibi, who was supposed to speak. I hope you got your voice back. At least thank you for the support and for supporting the Brussels office. We would like to thank the Netherlands office, and I've seen Josephine Opili join us on a call. We just want to appreciate Lawrence Lele, who reported in Dubai. We just want to thank you and thank the mission there. I want to thank Jared, our trade attaché in India, who has been on call with us, and to appreciate the mission and the work we are doing in terms of opening the market for avocado. And our friend and good friend Anthony Muredi, who is in Italy, we want to say a big thank you. And you know the collaboration and the work we started last month when we were in Italy. We just want to assure you that we continue doing this. And for the teams inside here, I want to thank KQ, I want to thank HCD and Tito, you spoke. Thank you so much. I want to thank you, Keproba, who are following us on call, Fatima and Dr. Marube, who was on transit, but at least was able to call and just confirm their participation. Thank you, the members of FPC who are on call. Thank you, the members of the Fourth Estate, both here and those who are following us on call. And thank you so much, everyone here, the FPC team. We just want to appreciate this, the FPC board, and we thank you, Beatrice, for your team. And thank you, Mutua and the team from Aptia and the USID for the work well done. And we are coming up to you from Crown Plaza JKA Hotel. We just want to thank them for allowing us an opportunity and also be able to give us the facilities that are able to help us to have this hybrid meeting. I think as I said, then before we set everyone free to go, I just want then to request that Beatrice will come forward. We like to share our screen and you see what we are launching. And please, as we are out there, all of us, we just want to ask you to please join in. And then once we have done this, we will therefore be able to, I want to let you know that this is what is called digital announcement. You may not see a lot of pom-pom as it were out there, but this is the way we want to launch it and appreciate the digital world in terms of how we launch this digital facility. Do you want to come in there? So we just want to really say a big thank you, and therefore 3, 2, 1.